and we've got this 10% coupon over at Brick Owl. It's not because we necessarily have a 10% coupon over on Brick Owl for watching the show and everything else. It's a freaking, it's supposed to be like a trolley carrot that's out there for BrickLink that's like, hey, you know, these are things that we'd like to do as, if you're approaching this as, you know, BrickLink 2.0 and you realize that BrickLink has an aspect of social media to it and people who are at least tuned into the internet can help push the image of BrickLink, which they seem to think right now is this whole nobody knows who the heck we are. That let that be a part of it. I mean, if they're chasing after SEO tools, that is the internet. That is social media. That is all the driving forces that go in behind it for recognition on analytics and Google searches and everything else. They're essentially updating their site so they're recognized by Google. Okay. One problem is they're going about their SEO tools, at least it seems to me, is they're going about the SEO tools look and feel as if they have to be a conglomerate for these things to matter and not individual shops.
Yeah.
So if I would venture to think that if they put their time and money into their code team and expanded it out and brought in some new thinkers, here's the thing that when I was in business, this was my mantra as far as it went with coders, that as soon as you get yourself a coder, a code monkey, a programmer, a developer, whatever you'd like to call yourself, when I say these things, none of them are meant to be demeaning. My friends who are in the industry who are monkeys pride themselves on being monkeys, you know, that they're just that old time coder with hands a flailing on the keyboard, you know, writing out code, pouring Mountain Dew down their throat. But if you have a developer that says that can't be done, it's time to go get a new developer. As soon as they tell you, well, that can't be coded, it's time to go find somebody else because they're not the right person. And when you found a really good coder, they laugh and completely agree with you. You're exactly right. That as soon as they say they can't be done, they've eliminated their train of thoughts and their train of how I can and cannot do. So this is we were having a discussion beforehand a little bit about the rolling out of eXpress. I am supposed to be portraying the part of BrickLink today, as far as in defense of, and why they're rolling out all of these things, and what possibly the train of thought was with, you know, has this all been a long drawn out process for a move to a more e-commerce approach to everything, and a more or a much less to non-existent marketplace approach to it, or what is this? Because so we were going to just talk about Express today, and that was it. But Kittenville actually brought up that, you know, well, no, the first part draw it into the second, and the second to the third. So maybe this is like some master plan from them. Do you want to discuss that a little bit, or should we actually do just?
Well, we'll discuss.
Maybe we could do introductions. So I'm Big B. Welcome to the Lego Seller stream. With me, as always, is my man Foo Bricks.
How's it going, everybody?
And with us tonight as well is Kittenville, who took notes, watched the whole video, and was very diligent about this. So I've got you on the screen. Go ahead and tell me what you really, because you should actually be taking in defense of BrickLink on this show, because you watched the whole video, you did it, and you don't have the baggage that I do, if you would. So,
well, my take from the video, they started off with the Studio X. Really couldn't pay that much attention to it because the volume was so low. So I pretty much skipped the studio portion of the video and went into the where they're wanting to buy people's designs as far as the mocks. And then So you design your build in Studio, and they have a set palette that have common pieces, and that could be easily pulled from different sellers that are on the platform. And you submit your mock. They print instructions, and then they use eXpress to go in and sell the mock, and they'll show the different sellers that have all these pieces for that mock and allow you to choose.
Well, they've got that now. That's the thing. We kind of already have that now because they've got the mock shop. So you can say somebody submits a new mock. You can go in at that point and select that mock, and then add that to your shopping cart on a wanted list, fulfill that wanted list, and go forward with it now. So that was why when I was watching it, you were sort of discussing how all of this is new and fangled. I was like, no, we've had this power. This isn't really anything new other than it can be done on a mobile platform.
The second part of that is you got to take in consideration, this is Brick Universe, full of builders. BrickLink went into this arena, and they're trying to convey Express and the changes they want to make to BrickLink to the builders in that video. So that's the other thing to take consideration of what they were trying to convey and come across in that video. If it was a seller convention, it'd probably be a total different take, and there'd probably be some other terminology used and some other things being discussed. But
yeah, but why would these are abilities that BrickLink has had for years. Like, it seems strange that they would be having a 3-part miniseries on newfangled stuff when in fact all there really was to announce was we're moving to a mobile platform. It will be limited at first, and it will also be more expensive for you. So if you want to switch over to buying on mobile, it's going to end up possibly being more expensive for you because any existing coupon that you might have with a long-term relationship with any store is going to be foregone. We're not even going to pay attention to it. We don't really care about storefront. We're sending you to the lowest price on BrickLink, which is great. That is what that's what Amazon does. That's what eBay does. That's what anybody who has. That's what every single brick site out there that does a web search for parts does. Rebrickable already does that as well. They're just joining that game.
Mm-hmm.
They're just hopping on that bandwagon, which is fine. That's a quick cash grab. But to ignore and not include coupons and auto apply them and retroactively make that code work on Classic sounds like a little bit of a waste of times. I realize that the spaghetti code is hard to deal with, but honestly, it's another lackluster software development rollout by BrickLink. All they've done is they've taken a site and they've taken the existing index, made a new version of the index that work with each other, not hard to do, and then rolled out a mobile site. Honestly, that's not amazing. I guess I'm looking for amazing because I want the site to be modern. I just want a new BrickLink that works as expected as the old does. So, meaning that it's a place where you can go and buy 100 lots and figure out what store to go to and to get them and everything else. It doesn't sound like you'd even want to put together a parts list for more than like 25.
The question is how modern do we get this? I've got this piece set I'm working on, I want to go there and just take a picture of and use BrickLink and see if there's any pieces available and who has it. So how modern do we want this?
You want to take a picture of a brick and say, identify it for me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's just software development.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily something. Well, no, I'm saying that we already have 3D models for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's already 3D models available for every single Lego element. There's 3D models available probably for every Brick Arms model as well, because computers make these things now, and in order to make their molds properly, there had to be some sort of input with a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So it behooves them to add those as well. They're smart guys. I'm sure they have or will. So not a hard thing to do, really.
Mm-hmm.
The most complex thing usually that happens with identifying a brick has to do with print.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that they're wanting to do is, since we sell cross borders, is they're trying to make the language inside of BrickLink universal. And some of the English terms do not translate well in other languages.
Of course not. That's been an obstacle. That's not a new obstacle. Mm-hmm. But that's also an obstacle that people who are non-English speaking are familiar with and have been familiar with on every other site in the world. If for some reason the word square, even though this is not the right word to pick, if square did not translate from English to any other language, they still would recognize the word square because they've had to use the word square and it does not translate. And the word keeps going. It's just like when you say someone's common name in another language. You say, Ipshin option niptim doom to doom, a big bricks, nip tip top to doom doom dip.
It's like, I've got this junior set over here. Do I list it as a bonnet, or do I list it as a trunk piece, or a windscreen versus a windshield? Then you got the category issue too.
That's silly, stupid stuff that has to do with colloquialisms. All right, those are colloquialisms. Do I list this as a soda or do I list this as a pop? Do I list this as a soda pop? So those are tiny little molehills. Those are not development stopping issues.
Yeah.
This is coming from somebody who used to work in the field.
Mm-hmm.
So
who popped up in over here in the...
Well, keep going. I'm not trying to beat you up, man.
Oh, no. Somebody else popped up over here, and I was...
Yeah, water fountain versus bubbler. All it is they're colloquialisms. And, if they honestly want to go and fend in and figure out the different colloquialisms, have fun with it. There was, lists that came out years ago that cover all of these things, and they've been a study of in the English language for years. It's probably already have somebody in college who's already done this as a doctoral study who's just waiting on somebody to buy the API.
Well, one thing they used in the video was lot, and how it meant category in a certain language. And so if you would have 2,000 lots, well, that means there's 2,000 categories in that language.
Not necessarily. There's another word that can represent what it means, and it doesn't have to be. So if there's every language has a specific word for something, but also a general word for something.
Yeah.
Okay? I realize with the Chinese language and with a lot of other languages, there is an immense amount of words. German, even worse. The Germans have words for actions. There's probably 17 different words for sneeze. Okay. There's still a word that means sneeze. So, all that is hiring somebody who's a native speaker from their language and saying, hey, can you standardize this for me? Again, not stumbling blocks. And the issue of pay for lack of fees is already an ongoing thing over at BrickLink. It's a standard, So, sorry, once again, not trying to beat you up.
That's okay. That's why we're here to discuss everything. It's just people don't realize how an archaic system being brought up off into a modern day. And
but that's the whole thing. Like the only thing they need to bring over, honestly, the only thing they need to bring over as far as, and it's not an archaic system. It's actually a very well built system, but
for PC.
Yeah, it's just it's old. They need to bring over the database. You know, all the index is the most important, not the index, but the database is the most important thing. And it's not that difficult to have two sites operating off of the same database. You know, it's clunky, and probably they would love to be able to update their database to be, you know, new and modern as well. And we would love that as well. But if you have enough money interested in something, you can cover it. So, we won't necessarily go into the discussions we were having before the show about the reasons why, but I think that BrickLink is losing its edge by going to this lack of storefronts as their first approach. I would be interested to see the raw numbers of people that buy sets and like just one thing, or just like 5 things and that's it, versus people that buy a lot more.
But having the express option, and you wear my situation, and I'm needing to make money, so I've got the store, and I've got a, you know, let's say I went there, built something other in the studio, and I submitted it for a set. Well, I can make money off the design itself because they'll pay me, as well as, you know, I'll be brought up in the express checkout, in the express search engine for having all the pieces in my store. So that might bring more sales if,
So
you know, if I sell that
not
bill.
perfectly true from what they were saying, though. Because they're not taking you to your storefront. So their options were shipment location, lots, and quantity.
Yeah.
So if Big B's closer and he's got the lots and the quantity, his store may be picked first.
That's why I'd like to even know how location even enters into the situation. Because to be perfectly honest with you, if the United States is the primary field of sales for BrickLink, proximity matters 0. Because if it's shipping for first class, it's the same rate anywhere in the US. So location matters nothing for price of shipment, unless we're talking priority. And then BrickLink would have had to figure out how to work in regional rate, which is another issue that people are talking about quite a bit, that they don't, because priority right now, I very frequently have to refund a buyer who checks out with priority because it jumps from what should be able to fit easily into a priority bubble mailer, like $22.85 or $25.85 or whatever it is for a large box now. So, I mean, they've got a lot of other things to fix before they go down this road. And that's my frustration point, is there's so many other things that need to be fixed. And they just, I mean, it's like squirrel. Let's make mosaic. Squirrel. Let's roll out mock shop.
Yeah.
You know,
they did. If you watched the video, whenever they got to where they would shop by store, they were kind of hesitant to really go into that subject matter too much, because I don't think they got, you know, they're fully ready to roll that part out. So
I think Jacqueline was really taken by surprise as far as the issue of coupons on Express, because she had expressed beforehand that coupons would be functional, and one person had even asked about coupons before me on there, and I'm glad that she knows that, because that's a huge thing. You know, that I mean, it takes away the customer longevity part of it. You know, everybody tries to build up a repertoire with.
It takes away our marketing abilities to market our store.
Right.
Yeah.
And it ties into all the stuff that they're trying to do. If they want to publicize themselves, if they want to make themselves more well known, they've got a free source of advertising within people who are already selling on there. People like you and me who utilize and use YouTube. You know?
Or even social media. I mean, we're constantly on social media pointing people to here. If I don't have the part, I point them to other sellers. And that's the other thing is once they get on there, they can find other sellers.
Right.
If I don't have the part.
Here's my biggest thing, and this has been I've watched this, and people question what pieces I pick to track and everything else, but that's just me, and I see it as pieces that I pick to track. But Pat Bricks points out, how bad does the race to the bottom become if price is the deciding factor on the search algorithm? And it is, because price is already in the algorithm for the wanted list. And as soon as they decided, and I'm going to keep pointing it out until they fix it, that any is most important, and most people have a preference of, I don't give a shit if it's new or used. The race to the bottom is just combined new and used, 2 years ago. And that's why we've had, a 30+% market dump on the price of a generic item on BrickLink since then. So it's not that Lego's going out of style. It is that there's a race to the bottom, and BrickLink is adding fuel to the fire by poorly coding some of their issues and not looking at the long-term effects of what things do. There's algorithms you can run to see what the effect are of what your code does. And if you don't do the due diligence to run the effects on it, see what happens to a price or anything, you're hurting yourself. And what I was trying to say, but Pat Cam pointed out, is what you're dealing with XP, Express, whatever the hell they're calling it, is lowest price wins. There's so many ways to cheat shipping. People are already cheating shipping. If you utilize like stamps.com or something like that, as soon as you get an order, it calculates your shipping price for you and can give you a temporary shipping number. People can play that and get an automatic shipping number assigned to an order within seconds of it being paid for. Do they suddenly now get moved to the front of the line because they have a tracking number for that, and that's what BrickLink is using to assign, good boy points for shipping quickly? Or is it actually when the agency takes a hold of that and gives it its first scan? Because I honestly would be, even though it would probably hurt me because I know I have door-to-door pickup and the postman only does 5 pieces a day and that's his limit, and I got to wait another 6 hours or whatever for the other ones to get scanned. I would rather it be first scan by receiving agency.
Yeah, that's what
when I set it to shipped. Because anybody else who wanted that leg up could game that so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And if all it is a trigger that says being set to shipped, and not have some sort of recourse to check that to see when it's not set to shipped anymore, I could have something automatically set up to go paid, automatically set that to shipped, and then roll it back to paid.
Mm-hmm.
Gaming the system. I'm just, not that I would do it, but I know people who would. We all know people who would. So when they build in these things and say, well, we're going to assign you points for how quickly you reply to a person, for how quickly you do this, what are you building in along with that? Because devil's in the details, and BrickLink monkeys have a track record of not due diligence on seeing what their code will do and what effect it'll have. It's just, let me code this out and go. We already know there's no real testing. I mean, there is real testing, but maybe not the type of testing that there should be, because there's not enough real world users putting it to the tests.
And you mentioned that they made the price of normal parts, let's say a 2x4 brick, go down by 30% because of the algorithm. They just cut their own paycheck by 30%.
Right. and they're looking for new people. They're looking for ways to bring in more resources to fix these problems. And when you cut the floor out from underneath you, it's difficult to fill the seats.
And what if you got a storming part? Say you got these dimension sets over there. There's one piece over there that that the thing is the dimension sets were on clearance, you know, for $10, $12, $15 across. But you had the Supergirl. Well, being in the middle of the storm, everybody's snagging these things up and putting them up. Well, you've got people up there charging $68. You got people charging $18, which the price point on that shouldn't be any more than 25 or $30, you know, but where do you go there and price it?
No, you can't control prices. That's illegal. I'm not talking about controlling prices. All I'm talking about is
price for a brick.
What I'm saying is, as soon as you qualify new and used at being the same in your algorithm,
yeah,
you have seriously just, you might as well just, count yourself out for it's just,
yeah.
It's stuff like that. It is the decisions like that to just code it out and run that just, punch me in the jimmy.
That's the thing that eBay got into snags over. They'll have changed their source code to do a certain thing. Well, then there's like 5,000 people that all of a sudden jump on the bandwagon and hit that pretty hard. It throws their algorithm off. And then everybody's search results go silent for 3 or 4 weeks. There's dead zones. So some of the buyers don't even get searched. That's the problem, with some of that sourcing.
Well, as far as the search results, as far as coming up, so they show up on Google, I completely agree. 100%. Work on the SEO tools. Get them in there. Do not write them so that we are one giant conglomerate. If you want to dominate the first 3 spaces, that's fine. But if you have us so that we are, the Borg, we're individuals but the same, we're gonna dominate the first 100 pages for 2x4 bricks. Lego will be somewhere on the first page, but BrickLink will be overly dominant. That's what it is. If that's what you're looking for shop, then set us up as individual business. Give us all the SEO tools to go run with it, and
but
make us Hive. Don't make us,
I've had e-commerce, and you've got 5 things that Google looks for, and as long as you've got those 5 things, which eBay does, it's all you gotta do is put that spider in. I like on big commerce, and some of the other shopping carts I've used. I just go there and download that Google search spider and put it into the source code, and so it searches my store for that information, so it makes me SEO compatible. I just don't understand. They've got everything there. They just need to let Google in the door.
So the Vikings Plunder mentioned. I talked to Marvin. Marvin Park is the CEO of BrickLink. After the panel, and he said that the price will not be the only part of the algorithm to decide who appears at the top of the Express checkout. Right, but like we mentioned, they had discussed that there would be, distance, location would be a factor, and also shipping speed for the person, as well as shipping price, which is great. Those things need to be in there, but it's just, how are those calculations being made? That's all. How are they being made? Because, and as 10 Foot's Brick says, or is that just using the rules to your advantage? And I'm more of a spirit of the law, spirit of the rule person than being the lawyerly type that is word or letter of the law. So I know that modern times we're more of a letter of the law type of thing where, it has to be written exactly as needed. And that's why, in order to do something, you need to sign a 35-page document when before it used to be like 2 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
It's because a lot of things are wrong in the world. But anyways, it's your game if it's gaming the system or taking advantage of it. I see it as taking advantage of, but if they don't code it correctly, that's what it's there for too. Let's see what people are talking about here. Am I deadening the mood? Was everybody really excited and happy for this? And I'm just pissing in everybody's coffee?
I think we came in here to get informed and inform the community. And I think that I'm
a sourpuss about it. I'm a sourpuss about it because I really wanted to see something wonderful. I wanted to see that this was thought out, and maybe that BrickLink decided, like, well, part one would be a good idea, but it really is it's a huge shortcoming of what BrickLink really is. Maybe we shouldn't roll out part one. Maybe we should keep part one alpha and maybe roll out part two once we actually include the storefronts, include, the seller tools, include all of the pieces that BrickLink is solely lacking and has been solely lacking because it has had such growth and development on the internet. This is not just a BrickLink bad thing. This is just times change, world changes, and we need to change along with it, and haven't been able to.
So have they come out with any seller tools?
None. They spoke about it, and I think that the slide that somebody put up the slide they put up for seller tools was seller tools and customers need more of them.
Yeah, and they were like, and they focus only on that piece.
That was it.
They skipped over it.
Like a freaking meme.
As I said, it would have been different if it was a seller convention.
I'm looking to see how many stores this drives out of business like Amazon. Now let me give you guys the full qualifier here. This is the full qualifier. With these changes that come in for BrickLink 2.0, XP, Express, whatever they're going to call it, I benefit immensely. I am moved suddenly to the very close top of the pile. Okay. I am one of the top 20 stores in the US, quite possibly the world, for selection of new parts. Okay. Like, this puts me way up there. This is like, woohoo! But it screws everybody else, and that irks me. So, full qualifier right there. Like, this is great for me. I instantly become famous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes a lot for the little guy to get built up to that level. It
really does, because when they're putting parts together, I'm sure that they're going to look at all of the shortcomings that have come from Mosaic. Because everybody out there right now, go over to Mosaic and upload a picture that includes flesh tones, right? And then go and make it big, be proud, make it like a family portrait, and go check the prices on it and see what happens.
And tans versus orange instead of flesh bricks or flesh.
Well, no, you get instead of getting bright pink, you get pink.
Yeah.
Instead of getting light aqua, you get aqua. Instead of getting a lot of times reddish brown, you get brown. And it's not because you picked that. It's because I don't necessarily know that all of the people that work for BrickLink are, not that they're not Lego fans, but they just don't realize that it's not the modern palette. Or nobody's come through and gone to the art department and be like, built out, here's the modern palette for you. Here's the classic palette. Here's a palette for this. Here's a palette for Paladisa. Here's a palette for this. Here's a palette for that. And these are tools that people should have. These are tools that artists, for the most part, would have built out for themselves already. And you would hope that they would be using these, but it doesn't look like either the left hand's talking to the right and the art department has handed over these palettes to the developers when they're putting this together, or something like that. But I did a Mosaic, and it was a 64 by 64, and it was $20,000.
Yeah.
And most of the price came from the fact that it selected pieces that were no longer available, and I didn't have an option to shut that shit down. You know, I didn't have the ability to tell it, no, don't even do that. Let's see. Coldwater Brick says black and white mosaic WC Fields 30 by 40 was going to be $900. And again, that's because you cannot shut down like, you know, very, very light gray, very light gray, very light bluish gray, you know, medium gray.
There was a program. I'm also a cross stitcher, and there was a program online that you could use, and it had all the DMC floss and the other brands out there of different colors that you could use. And it would automatically pull those colors. Let's say you only wanted to use 100 colors in this thing. You type in 100, and it would pull up the 100 like colors for that. Or let's say you just want to use 20, distinct colors. You'd go there and put the distinct colors along with the numbers that you wanted to use, and put that in. And that would be nice if they would do something like that in Mosaic or Studio. But
so I was talking about how the 250 base plates were going to cost a fortune. Also, the people with like the medium green 16 by 16 that was popping up in there for some reason, just shit like that. And you could select like the number of colors that you were going to put into your mosaic, and they had that feature. But since they did not have a modern color palette or a modern circulation, and that could easily be tied into the existing database they have that says when colors were in circulation, because every single piece with every single color has an availability index to it. It's all tied together. It's all tied in. And they didn't plug that information in there. So I don't want BrickLink. I don't want BrickLink to ever tell me that it can't be done. Because part of the discussion that we had before the show is when I was in the industry, when I was in the business, whenever I had a monkey or a coder that said they couldn't do it, time to get a new coder. But good advice for any manager out there when they hear somebody on their staff who is a designer or a developer say, well, that just can't be done. It's time to find a new team player.
Well, when they were asked about the palette in Studio, they said that once you're signed up, they said it was already in Studio, but I think what's her name had the was kind of didn't think that there was the right response, but there's supposed to be a set number of colors that are pulled from common pieces. That so when you build one of these mocks, it'll pull the pieces that everybody, a lot of people have that are being used currently.
Didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Wasn't aware of that. If that might be something new. So one of the things that came up with the Mosaic shop or the mock shop was that they were going to start encouraging people to build mocks using I guess like a palette of bricks as well that were very common.
Yeah.
In order to make it easy for these mocks to roll out, so that there would be the possibility of it being a one shop stop, so that you wouldn't go to 17 different stores to buy the pieces for the mock, which is a great idea. See how well that works out.
And that was the problem with Amazon. You go there and make an order put an order in Amazon. All of a sudden, you got 20 packages coming in from different parts of the country. So,
it'll be interesting. That's for certain. I'm all for them moving the ball forward. I'm glad they're rolling out a new platform. Don't get me wrong on that at all. Don't get it twisted. But them throwing away the buyer experience is a huge mistake. And I think that there's probably a lot of people within BrickLink that believe that realize that it's a mistake. But I think that as a BrickLink employee, it is probably difficult to approach a CEO and say, no, I think you have this wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you might be misreading this. Especially if he's like the lead design architect or something like that. I read as well. You really have to plug yourself into a hobby full-fledged in order to really understand it and to really grasp it and to get the feel for it. And BrickLink did not make him rich. He was affluent beforehand. He had already been very successful in other fields. So I'm not certain that he's, I think BrickLink is sort of just a hobby for him. That's the way I see it, is BrickLink's kind of a hobby. He'd like to make it great, but I don't think he knows how to. And I don't think that
there's several things
necessarily are able to tell him that maybe this might not be the right approach.
There's a couple of things that they're going to have to do to make this transition. If they want to run like the big boys, eBay, Amazon, Walmart, they're going to have to take on responsibility and tell the sellers, hey, we got you covered, we got your back, and on the shipping and whatever. And
if they want to take on the big boys, they've got to get a 24-hour staff.
Mm-hmm.
They need to have somebody behind the wheel 24 hours a day. They can't go a long weekend with the site being down for the first, 12 hours of a selling day or something like that. I mean, if they want to compete with the big boys, they've got to be in the big boy market and put on. And it's not that they're not wearing the big boy pants now. It's just, I really think that one of the problems, I'm going to take so much crap from the BrickLink staff about this for even mentioning it. I think that one of the problems with BrickLink is there's too much involvement from the CEO.
Yeah.
I think that it might be one of those situations where if they had a little bit more diversity in their market, not diversity as far as, having people of all colors and creeds and races, more diversity as far as experience. Not people who are GUI designers, not people who are game designers, people who are actually like into Lego, like know Lego. I know that Admin Russell knows Lego. I'm so thankful that Admin Russell is a part of the team now. I know that Jack is totally learning Lego and she's really into it as well. But I do not believe that. I think that a lot of people on their staff are fans of minifigures, are fans of building sets, and not necessarily true fans of Lego.
And they was trying to distinct that in that video where they said, we're trying to reach out to these type of people. We wouldn't necessarily call them AFOLs, but we do call them fans of Lego.
I think they feel like they've got AFOLs, TFOLs, all.
Mm-hmm.
They've got those honed in already. They're just looking for the casual searcher of a set.
They are. I believe they are too. That's why I said I think this is a cash grab to try to play along with the big boys. And I'm fine with that. If they need money to make the other shit happen, I'm fine with this. But other stuff needs to be done.
Right. Their comparison was always to Amazon. Every time they talked about it, everything was Amazon. And
somebody even made mention Prime. BrickLink Prime.
Yeah. Fu, you do Amazon fulfillment. Do you actually have a storefront that you try to put up and market just your storefront, or do you just put stuff in Amazon and hope that you're at the top of the list whenever it comes up?
Well, I don't have to market for Amazon. They do all that for me. And the only thing that you win on with Amazon is price.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and so that's where I think, unfortunately, Express will be heading towards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the market that they're chasing, is the Amazon Prime market, the way that it works that way.
And there's two doors to Amazon: fulfilled by Amazon and then the merchant fulfilled.
Yep.
And you just list your items on a merchant fulfilled, and whenever the orders come in, you just fill the orders and send them out the door. You do nothing. And Amazon fulfilled, you take everything, you send everything in a big old box. You pay for a certain space in the warehouse. They take care of everything. And you just wait for the check. And at the end of the year, you get your returns back.
Yeah. But
more or less.
Yeah.
It just feels that that's the way they're headed, as far as they've got all these 11,000 sellers out there, and they just feel like we're a warehouse for the parts on Express.
Now, there's other things you could do. This is, will tie in with Express. Far as feedback, there is certain programs out there that will bring your feedback, bring more feedback to Amazon, which will make you pop up even more, bring you up more in the Amazon search engines. But that's that's beyond BrickLink's capability right now. But
And you mentioned merchant fulfilled. That's right here. All this. That's what I have. The stuff I don't send to Amazon. Like, for example, I'll give you a good example. The Nether Fortress, I got a lot of those sets. I sent them to Amazon, and the price just tanked on them because I wasn't the only one. Apparently, I was able to find north of 100 copies of it. So that must have been a set that did very badly. So now I'm lucky to be breaking even on it. So that's just how it goes, Amazon. The only way you win to buy boxes with price.
mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And I believe you got to be within 5% of the current lowest price in order to win.
Yep.
All right. I'm trying to find the questions that I put up yesterday or gathered yesterday. Keep going.
Keep going.
Talking amongst yourselves.
Okay, the Viking Plunder. If you send customers to URL, it will pull up your store page, not Express, even if they are on a mobile device.
For now.
That is correct, but I mean that's still the old GUI trying to work through a mobile phone.
Mm-hmm.
Where what the sellers were asking for was a updated interface for our storefronts.
Yeah.
So the question is now, we can't sit right now on their mobile when they release Express. They've already said they will not have storefronts.
So whenever I pick up this thing right here and I go to a said website, it automatically knows that I'm on the device. There is options on some of the websites that I could switch back over to standard view, where where I can see it like it was on a PC, also.
Right, but try using your old site
mm-hmm.
on a mobile device. I mean, I can do it, but it takes a lot longer.
Yeah, and the thing is
and a casual person that's on a phone that's finding stuff, they're going to go. I mean, let's put it this way: A-folds and T-folds are going to go to the computer to do it because they know BrickLink the way it is. But if it makes it easier for them to start going to a mobile device and do the Express thing, us sending them to our old URL, they'll probably just be like, I'm going to skip that, go straight to the mobile and just do it there. And
right, but they can't even select you. If they go through the mobile, if they go through Express, they can't even say that they want to go to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my thing is that there's no reason for us to even if we point them to our old site, people will get used to seeing the new site. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
they'll want to use Express, and the tools that are out there will be possibly easier for them on Express because it just finds everything they need, and then it's great for them. So no long, and that's why that's the biggest part that worries me.
Well, I don't like using this thing because even if let's say I'm on eBay, the eBay app, it does not pull up my item locations on the app.
Right.
Let's say if I'm trying to respond to a customer and go through the website, well, there's certain features that don't pop up on a mobile device. So every time I operate, chances me, I'm going to go back over to the PC or desktop and do everything on there because that's where everything, I know where everything's at. And nothing's hidden from me, like on those phones.
Yeah, we're old and crudgy, so we'll go back.
So as I was saying about cash grab, and this seems to be just something to sort of appeal to moms and dads, and not actually fix what our woes are with the existing BrickLink. This is taken from everybody's favorite buyer, QCB, just Queen Creek Bricks. Nice to see that the gang is all here from the YouTube chat. This is taken from BrickLink Forum. As I said elsewhere, both basing this on the version of the ideas we heard in Seattle in 2014, along with the live stream, it clearly seems to me that Marvin is not saying that XP was meant as a replacement for classic BrickLink. Instead, it provides an alternative to existing BrickLink members who who would like to use it, as well as something that will attract and appeal to those AFOLs in the AFOL box on the earlier slide, who have made the choice to not use BrickLink Classic for one reason or another. It also seems targeted at the moms and dads looking to just buy something for someone else. Clearly a case when taken with the second box, the one slide would be clearly indicated that XP is meant to appeal to those that would otherwise use Amazon. With that context, it seems to me that this is the target and not your regular everyday long-time BrickLink user, unless they choose to use the tool. That said, there are some clear misses and technical hurdles, like the incomplete minifigures. Keep in mind, everyone losing their minds that when Instant Checkout was announced, it eventually turned out not to be the big scary monster that everyone made it out to be, which is very true as well. Thanks to my Harry Potter glasses for helping me read that. QCB is always a good person to sort of get a good water temperature from, as far as their comments on the forum. I say everybody's favorite buyer because I've gotten so many emails from people when Queen Creek Bricks have bought from them because they're they freaked out about their terms, which is just essentially like I hope you don't smoke and please bag separately. But there's a good chat up over on the forum. My not rage but disappointment comes from the fact that I still am waiting on my seller tools, because ultimately my seller tools bring you your buyer tools. Me demanding coupons that automatically are applied, that doesn't help me. That only helps me when like somebody's like, hey, can you apply my coupon? I forgot to do it. That's it. That's all that it helps me, that I don't have to do that task. But it helps me mentally that I feel as though, everybody's getting the best deal for what they've earned with my Repeat Offender program.
Then you got the other aspect, the instant checkout. Now, most people don't realize that instant checkout is a binding contract. After it goes to instant checkout, they pay for the item. You're automatically agreed that you have this, by posting this item for sale, you have, you're in you have to supply this person with this product.
Yeah. So. Well, that was also the tie-in primarily from Europa, because laws in the EU regarding internet sales are drastically different than how they are in the US.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know here in the US, you like on eBay, if you do not fulfill your orders and there's a certain person on there, and if you just go there and cancel your order, they have the right to go back over and sue you for breaking that contract.
Right, and that was the big worry with the European sellers. So people were all worried about that. People were all worried that, like, oh, I'm going to get sued by all these people because I don't have a 2x4 red brick. And I say that because it's the most famous brick. And also the rarest.
Yeah, I'll go back to that. I'm with you. Just having the seller tools and allowing us to market to our own store is what I want. Yes, can eXpress actually help me at some point? Yes, because someone may come across my site through Express.
No, they never will. They never will.
I meant is that they might find the parts may be selected from my store. I might hit the lottery and they'd be able to select my parts from my store. And I might
be even willing to venture that the checkout experience on 2.0 is different than it is on the regular one, where they are getting billed they're getting billed by BrickLink, and BrickLink is now paying you.
Oh.
So their billing is from BrickLink. It is not from Joe's Brick Shack. There's no name for you to go out there. They are disregarding the name of the store. They've done away with storefronts. just like Amazon. You're buying it from Amazon. You get billed by Amazon. You're not getting billed by, Foo's Lego T-shirt shop.
Which I actually do have one of those.
Yeah, I know.
But no, there's nothing to stop them from allowing us to put this in the package.
There isn't.
Right.
There's nothing. But there could be terms that say you can't.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good luck
it
with
all
that.
depends on it all depends on how they go down this road.
They could be when they take away Classic.
Yeah.
And so what if you put your coupon code on the back? Nope. Sorry.
Nope, sorry, can't have coupon codes on BrickLink. They're still partying like it's 1999.
We're gonna get QC codes pretty soon, though. There'll be scannable QC codes for your monitor, or even better, a scannable QC code for your phone, because you can't scan a QC code on your phone because it's.
I use those QC codes on the for display whenever we are out and about on the shows and conventions.
Yeah, if you want to scan a QC or a QR code on your phone, you have to use a mirror in your front camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it might work.
A mirror with mirror effect on your camera.
Okay, I see where you're going.
Double mirror. Yeah.
Yeah.
Modern. Really, really easy to do too. Like
Standing in the bathroom.
So convenient. Not dissing BrickLink, dissing QC codes.
I thought you would just do a screenshot of where you're at and
actually, Pumpkin, they can stop you from putting your store name above your address.
Mm-hmm.
There can be part of the agreement that you have to put fulfilled by Amazon right there. That'd be part of your contract. Because honestly, the post office doesn't care who they're shipping to or what name is on the address. They're delivering to whoever. They're delivering to an address, not a name.
Yeah.
The only time they do care is when someone puts in a mail forward.
Yeah. Not necessarily the awesome sauce that I wanted. I am glad to see them pick up the low-hanging fruit, so it be. I guess it's a place to start. I'm not in the ballpark that thinks BrickLink is doing wonderful financially. I think that BrickLink, once I found out that they have like 40 employees, I started running the numbers and figuring things out. Like, one, they're based in Silicon Valley. That's why I asked that stupid question about if they'd be moving someplace that was more affordable, like Kansas. They've got 40 employees. They've got employees that are in Germany, Korea, and the U.S., which means that they have the ability to have 24 hours, but they don't have the right people in the right places in order to do that. But with 40 employees, with a lot of them being based in Silicon Valley, that is an expensive price tag to have to pay your employees. So somebody estimated that BrickLink might do like $6 million a year or something like that. I would say that probably $5 million of that went to they're just paying employees, HR, health insurance, and
keeping
crap
the lights on.
Yeah, keeping the lights on. And then there's the CEO tax of, like, CEO, you want to get paid. So.
Oh, and by the way, the quick back end envelope for them to get $6 million a year means we as sellers have to sell $200 million worth of brick per year.
And there's been people that there are people that do the worldwide calculations on BrickLink.
I'm willing to bet it's not 200 million.
This information. We've already actually asked BrickLink when they were on the show last time if they would looking into shipping supplies that bought on BrickLink, shipped by BrickLink, whatever type of thing, to brand them better. So the ideas are there. We've also floated the idea to them of doing a shipping partnership like is available through eBay sellers and Amazon sellers. So people like me don't have to go and pay a front fee to an agency in order to have the prices from 2014 instead of 2018 prices and rules and laws and everything else applicable to what I can ship. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have to pay like $20, $25 a month to be able to do cool shit. Pat Cambreak's just bringing up too. Can we get BrickLink negotiated post rates? Yeah, we discussed that with them. I'm sure that when we get to seller tools and blatantly honest, blatantly open, the entire sole reason, besides the fact that Jack's a friend of mine and I like to talk to her and BS about Lego, the sole reason why we're trying to get BrickLink on the show once a month is so we can float these ideas for future seller tools to them. Open and honest about that. Why should we hide that? I mean, we are sellers of Lego. We want to have some sort of influence, if not just idea givers, for things they should be looking for. So
they're not doing the selling. We are, so they need to figure it out.
Yeah, we have the most experience doing the selling. They've done 0% of the selling.
Right.
You know.
And hopefully after today, they'll want to come back on.
Oh, they will. They will. Hopefully.
Can you get Marvin on?
I know that he watched a portion of the first time that they were on and allowed them to go on afterwards. And I was definitely nicer on the second show than I was on the first show as far as questioning their motives on things. But I kind of doubt it.
Pumpkin said in the chat, eBay has a site-wide coupon feature, which I personally used before. Will BrickLink go that route? I doubt it, but they should.
Yep, they should.
But they're not going to pay us. So
yeah. So one of the things that I had talked about when Brick Model Railroader were on, in order to get them to do the flash code for everybody, was sort of just pitching it to them that, hey, give people a reason to spend money. You know, if you give people a reason to buy something that's $40 and you're giving them $2.50 off on it, or $5 off on it, or however much off on it because of the percentage of the coupon code, you've just made $35 or $37.50 that you would not have before. You know, how much does it hurt you for giving up that $2.50 or for that $5? Everybody should think that way as far as coupons. You have just talked somebody into spending money that they may not have otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the industry where you go out and you go to a website. The first thing that pops up is send us an email address. Give us your email address. We'll send you a 10% coupon off. Then go on that site and search around after you give your email address to them. Don't buy anything. Wait 2 days and you get a 20% coupon because they're trying to get you to get in there and buy the stuff.
Yep.
Just like over there going to buy a car, you show up at the car lot and you tell them you're going to be thinking about it. You wait 3 days and they go there send you an offer for that car that you're looking at. You tell them you're still not interested, and later on they'll go there, call back and say, "Hey, we could do this."
Yeah, I'm glad y'all talked me into getting into coupons.
Yep, coupons work, and that's exactly why every order I get gets one of these. If it's Amazon merchant fulfilled, it goes in a box. If it's eBay, it goes in a box. If it's BrickLink, it goes in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And what's on the back?
Well, this is actually my real business card with my contact information on it. But
okay,
it goes to the customer. It says, thanks for your order. Please email me here if you have any problems. And if you mention this card in the comments, you get another 5% off your order. No one has done it. But
wow.
That's the placeholder for the coupon code will go as soon as BrickLink comes out of 1999 and allows me to have a coupon code.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm just going with the cards I already have made up. So,
and we've done a complete 360 back to the beginning of why at the end of every show we do this pitch.
Use the coupon code #SellerStream on BrickOwl for your orders, and you'll get a 10% discount in all our stores. Immediate discount.
Immediate. Right then and there at the time of checkout, you save 10%. Would that not be a wonderful thing to get during each and every purchase on BrickLink? Which is why we mention it during every show. I would like to thank Kittenville for coming on and taking my place as BrickLink, since I was so distraught with myself with all of the changes and the sky was falling isms. No, I don't think this is the worst thing that could possibly happen to BrickLink. I'm just disappointed that, this is what we got. After 4 years, this is what we got.
Yeah.
Just expecting more, expecting greater.
Hashtag womp womp.
Yeah. Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, because we can increase customers and sales if
Yeah.
we had coupons and getting people in here.
I am excited for them moving forward with SEO tools. I'm ecstatic about that. I'm glad they are. I would love to know about some more of the modernization of things that they are doing with BrickLink. But the whole taking away of the front end, that is a chase to the bottom. So
I would love to use coupons or whatever, but I just using that express checkout and everything else. I'll just go to apply the discount to people that I know in the community or I've seen them around.
And I got a question from Just Another Brick Life. Do I have expiration for my coupons? Yes, I do, because BrickLink forces you to have one. And all my coupons are good for 1 year from the date of issue. And if you, for some reason, need to order more than a year later, you can just shoot me a message. I'll reinstate it for you, no problem. But I have to put a date in there, so I just have it set default 1 year.
way to do it. Also would like to thank Mavitz for coming in.
Sorry I was late.
Appreciate it. I know that sports are over with for your kids for the season, so you're able to join us on most Fridays as well. Well, also thank you to both of you guys for coming in on Dad's Day. I know that both of y'all are dads, so appreciate you guys taking time away from your kids and spending it with us schleps.
Yes, definitely. Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Thank you to all of you, everybody out there in the worldies.
Happy Father's Day.
Also, thanks to X21 for giving me the inspiration to do a video this week of how to add things to the BrickLink catalog. I realized that the sound was pretty shitty in the beginning of the video until I realized that I had the wrong mic turned on, because now that we've got this fancy thing, who had gadget up over here above me. I sometimes forget to do things because I move this out of the way and do other stuff because this is just in the way. Maybe we'll do another one later on with something cool and rare shows up. Somebody in the community and they need help adding one single item to the catalog. I'd be willing to do it again. But thanks to him, that was a good time. Sorry to James Box, who was not able to buy the item, who was willing to buy it right then and there doing the stream and was very excited to, because Fresh Pants got at it first. But I believe that X has gone and gotten some more of the ultra rare item and is put more in the store. For those that do not know what I am talking about, is
24 hours later.
wait in. God, just give me a second. Share. Oh, look at that Inception. No.
Excelsior.
You guys see that?
Yep.
That right there is an exclusive. And currently, I believe, is only an exclusive to X21. Xfinity 21, if you're looking for him on BrickLink, in his store. So I believe they are highly limited quantities, highly sought after, and highly coveted. So, go for it. And if you're one of those people that needs this to complete your collection right away, we've shown you where to get it. Casey Metro, please show up on time next week. We're still waiting for you to come on the show, and the open invite is still there for you. Hope you're doing well. All right, that is it. That is all. We went a little bit over today. Sorry about that. It's kind of commonplace, but we'll try not to. Let me know in the comments if you guys like the special guest segments where we have people in who have actually made Lego their actual source of income in their life. If you like the format of us just having other sellers on to discuss things, give us some quality comments and all that shit down below. Don't forget to like that smash button and share this thing and all that other good stuff, whatever all the kids are saying to promote their channels. So see you next week.